Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most incredible, nail-biting, and ultimately inspiring stories of World War II. It's a tale of desperation, courage, and a flotilla of little ships that changed the course of history. We're talking about the miracle of Dunkirk. So, let's set the scene. It's late May 1940. The situation in Europe is looking incredibly grim for the Allies. Germany's Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, has been brutally effective. Their forces have smashed through the Ardennes forest, a move the French and British high commands thought was impossible. They've outflanked the formidable Maginot Line and are now racing towards the English Channel, trapping the cream of the Allied armies. Hundreds of thousands of British, French, and Belgian soldiers are being squeezed into an ever-shrinking pocket on the coast of northern France. Their backs are to the sea, their supplies are dwindling, and the German army is closing in from all sides. The port city of Dunkirk is their last hope, their only possible escape route. But even that looks like a long shot. The German Luftwaffe, their air force, is hammering the beaches and the city relentlessly. The harbor is a wreck, making it nearly impossible for large naval destroyers to dock and evacuate troops. It looks like a catastrophe, a surrender of historic proportions, is just days, maybe even hours, away. The British government was bracing for the potential loss of its entire professional army. Losing them would have left Britain almost defenseless against a German invasion. The stakes could not have been higher. Then, something strange happened. On May 24th, the German tanks, just a few miles from Dunkirk and poised to deliver the final blow, were ordered to halt. Historians still debate the exact reason for this halt order. Was it because German commanders were worried about overstretching their supply lines? Did they want to preserve their tanks for the final battle for France? Or was it, as some have suggested, a political move by Hitler, hoping to perhaps negotiate a peace with Britain after such a show of force? Whatever the reason, this pause, lasting for a crucial couple of days, gave the Allies a sliver of a chance, a window of opportunity they desperately needed. And they seized it. The British Admiralty launched Operation Dynamo. The initial plan was to use Royal Navy destroyers and other large vessels to ferry troops back across the channel. They hoped to rescue maybe 45,000 men over 2 days. A grim, but realistic, target. But as we mentioned, the shallow waters and the constant bombing made it incredibly difficult for these big ships to get close to the beaches where hundreds of thousands of soldiers were waiting lined up in queues that stretched for miles. This is where the story turns from a military operation into a legend. Seeing the desperation, the British government put out an extraordinary call to action, a call to anyone with a seaworthy vessel. And the people answered. From all along the southern coast of England, a civilian armada set sail. We're talking about fishing boats, pleasure yachts, river ferries, lifeboats, private cruisers, anything that could float and cross the 21 miles of the English Channel. These weren't sailors or soldiers. They were fishermen, lawyers, bankers, and taxi drivers. Ordinary people doing something truly extraordinary. This little ship's flotilla, as it became known, was the heart of the miracle. Imagine the scene. The skies are dark with smoke from burning oil tanks. The air is filled with the drone of German bombers and the terrifying whistle of falling bombs. The sea is churned by explosions. And through this hellscape sails a fleet of little boats, manned by civilians, heading straight into the danger zone. They couldn't dock at the main harbor, so they chugged right up to the beaches. They acted as shuttles, picking up exhausted, battle-weary soldiers from the shore, sometimes wading into the water to help them, and ferrying them out to the larger naval destroyers waiting in deeper waters. Some of these little boats made the perilous journey back and forth across the channel multiple times, their crews working without rest, driven by a simple, powerful duty to save their countrymen. The soldiers themselves showed incredible discipline and resilience. They built makeshift jetties, called moles, out of abandoned vehicles and planks of wood, creating precarious walkways to help them board the boats. They stood in line for hours, sometimes days, under constant threat of attack, their morale held together by the hope of seeing home again. Stories abound of their stoicism. One famous account tells of soldiers continuing to play cricket on the beach while waiting for their turn to be rescued. It's a testament to the human spirit's ability to find a semblance of normalcy even in the most terrifying of circumstances. The Royal Air Force played a vital and often overlooked role as well. While the Luftwaffe seemed to have control of the skies over the beaches, British Spitfires and Hurricanes flew sortie after sortie, engaging German planes further inland to protect the evacuation fleet. They fought with incredible bravery against superior numbers, buying precious time for the boats below. Many of the soldiers on the beach, unable to see these dogfights happening miles away, felt abandoned by the RAF. But the pilots were up there, fighting and dying to keep the escape route open. When Operation Dynamo officially ended on June 4th, the results were staggering. The initial, optimistic goal was to save 45,000 men. In the end, over 9 days, an incredible 338,226 Allied soldiers were evacuated from the beaches of Dunkirk. About two-thirds were British, and the other third were French and Belgian troops who would live to fight another day. It was by no means a victory. The British Expeditionary Force had been forced into a humiliating retreat and had to abandon almost all of its heavy equipment, tanks, artillery, vehicles, all left behind on the French coast. But it wasn't the catastrophic defeat it could have been. Winston Churchill, in his famous speech to Parliament shortly after, perfectly captured the mood. He cautioned against calling it a victory, reminding everyone that wars are not won by evacuations. But he also recognized the profound significance of what had happened. He spoke of the miracle of deliverance and how this event instilled a new spirit in the British people. This spirit, which came to be known as the Dunkirk spirit, was one of resilience, of a nation pulling together in its darkest hour, of unity and defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. It showed that even when things seemed hopeless, there was still a chance. The rescue at Dunkirk had enormous consequences for the war. It saved the core of the British Army, a trained and experienced force that would be absolutely essential in defending Britain from the expected invasion and, eventually, in taking the fight back to the continent. The survival of these soldiers was a massive boost to British morale and a symbol of hope for all the Allied nations. It was the moment that Britain, now standing alone against the might of Germany, resolved to never surrender. So, the story of Dunkirk is more than just a battle or an evacuation. It is a powerful reminder of what ordinary people can achieve when they come together for a common cause. It's a story of courage, sacrifice, and the unbreakable will to survive. It's the story of the little ships, the disciplined soldiers, the brave pilots, and the collective spirit that turned a potential disaster into a symbol of enduring hope. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you found this look at the miracle of Dunkirk as fascinating as I do. It's one of those historical events that really feels like it's straight out of a movie. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next historical deep dive. Let me know in the comments what you think about Dunkirk or if there are other topics you'd like to see covered. Until next time, stay curious.